Yeah, I think it's the same story again that we've had the last few games, playing a really good team that has a great plan, has incredible shooters, length, quickness. It's got it all. I saw it firsthand now with Siakam, who was last year certainly was a second fiddle to Kawhi, and that was quite a performance. So we're just having trouble matching up with some of these type of players, and as a team, we got to find a better way to do that. And they're just a really good team, and we're certainly a better team than us tonight.
This is the second consecutive game where you've struggled in the department of getting back on defense, especially in transition. What's the answer you are seeking from your team at this point?
Well, some guys don't have a trouble, some do. It's sort of an individual thing right now. And then what else happens is you couldn't get back, and then the words that aren't spoken when you get back leads to confusion. And we had some really good people on the team that aren't necessarily the most talkative, so they assume with each other, and they get things. But then again, if the other team is faster than you and longer than you, and that's really hard to stay in front of them too.
But the silver lining on the offensive end, at half you had 15 assists on 19 made field goals, especially in that second unit. What were you seeing from them?
They just really are playing well together right now. I think we had 30 assists overall. We only had a couple turnovers. The first half was about our turnovers led to fast break points, and then the second half we stopped doing that. I think they had over 20 fast break points in the first half. In the second half, we didn't turn it over as much. So that's been an issue. I don't think the second team in the first half had a turnover. They went in and really played well. So we got a lot of things obviously we're shoring up, and it's hard to do it against a team like this.
Second game for Darius Garland back-to-back where he's kind of finding his groove on the offensive end. 14 points in the fourth quarter. How would you assess how he's been so far?
Yeah, it is at least, I think at both ends of the floor actually, that he's seeing the game. It's much clearer to him right now. We want him to be aggressive. We want him to shoot the ball. The in-between game is coming along as well. So he did some really good things today. You can see why we think so highly of him.
Even when you guys scored points, there was still issues on defense when getting back.
Yeah.
Was that still the same thing in miscommunication as well?
Yeah, there's a lot involved in that. There's just don't celebrate, get an early start, right? Find your man, and then get in there and right now one of the goals, let's get a blocking call. People are just blowing right by us and get layups, and we need to use those fouls. If you have an advantage, we got to do something to stop the drive, because it's they're taking us. And Siakam is a rare guy, but he wasn't the only guy that drove right by us today. So that's a big issue we got to continue to work on.
And Nance has a lot of success in the second unit, but he played a lot in the fourth quarter as well. And Love wasn't in the fourth quarter towards the end. What success did you see from Nance?
I mean, that group we stayed with again when they went in the second quarter. We decided to stay with them a little bit, and then we wanted Tristan. Here he is in Toronto. I want to keep getting Larry more and more minutes so he can play. Just sort of, we could have went with anybody. I tried to put Kevin in late, and 2 minutes went before there was a timeout. So. It is some days are going to be like that.
You had a quick start in the second half. Colin had the layup, could have got it to 5. And when you have those little opportunities, you have to convert them.
That's sort of the story of what we've had, Mike. That you get to this point where you're close, and then I think we had a 3-pointer when it was maybe a 10-point game late or a 12-point game that went in and out. I mean, for us where we are, we can't afford to have those runs stop like that, because the other team answered right away.
Coach, the assist numbers were good on the whole trip. Is that an area you feel like you're trending up?
We've been working on it really hard. We've been really working. So you get to 30 assists, and I'd like to see how many passes that we actually had. So we're starting to do that better and better. And then I think we're a better shooting team than we were tonight. But there were several times that I think when we played back at Milwaukee, we hit like 8 threes in a row. We're capable of doing that, because that's what the good teams are doing. The Torontos, the 76ers, right, the other night when we were playing up in Milwaukee. Their guys make those shots. We're almost making those shots to stay in the game.
Defense as a whole, what is the next step that you think?
It's so hard because, for me it's hard because normally, like a college guy, you'd have 3 days of practice, you could really work at it. Now it is watch film, here's what we got to do, but save your legs, because we have Charlotte coming in here Wednesday. So it's just about everybody learning and going through our walkthroughs and going through the things that are so important and get them to understand it. But it only takes one mistake by one guy in the wrong position, or one guy in the wrong stance or the wrong communication, and defense breaks down.
Just 2 points. Hinton, you said using those fouls, that's one player that did, as well as he had 6 assists tonight. Just the way he's flowing on the offensive end.
Yeah, that really helps when we got a guy that can spray the ball around like that. And as he continues to grow and work at his three-point shot, then people have to guard him a little bit more. So, and we had a couple of those that went in and out too. So that's a huge difference right now for us. There's some teams really are established at making the three. You know, we have several guys that are just starting to really be able to, whether they're just coming from college, right, or they've never shot threes a lot. They're going to be really good shooters. The teams we're playing have a few more years experience on us in that area.